Good evening to you believers, everyone here on our Facebook station, our YouTube, my Love Coach Tasha YouTube, and in just a second on Instagram. As soon as I can go live on Instagram, because we are here for the Healing Hour Live. There we are. Fabulous. All right. Hello to everybody out here, to my Facebook group, to Instagram, to YouTube. I'm so glad that you are here with me today for the Healing Hour Live. Welcome, welcome. Now, if you don't know who I am Love Coach Dasha, and I'm here to help you figure out exactly what it is that you need to do to get through the trauma, the anxiety, the pain of dealing with infidelity, right? We're all here for that particular reason. And I pressed the wrong thing on Instagram. Let me see. I am a little all right, there we go. Haha, there we are. Hello to my people on Instagram. Took me a second there. Hello, Facebook. Peggy, you're here. You made it. You are here with me today. I'm so glad that you got to be with me today. I'm so glad that everybody got to be with me today. Hello, how are you doing? We are going to talk a little bit today about getting on the healing path after infidelity. I know it's trouble, man. Stuff is stressful, but we're going to think about how we can get through it, how we can get the practice in that we need to be able to heal, to be able to get to a place of loving and trusting and happiness again. Vashti, you were saying hello. Hello to you too. How are you doing? I'm excited to be here today. I'm glad that I have you all with me. You know how we start. We start off every single solitary one of these with the simplest two things that you can do to start to help your anxiety and your emotion regulation after infidelity. And what are those two things? Those two things are always the same. They are your deep breathing and your journaling. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Have you been doing your journaling? I want to hear from you. As a matter of fact, I'm extending an open invitation. If you are really focused, you have been deciding like, okay, I'm going to start doing my deep breathing. I'm going to start doing my journaling. I'm going to start working on it. I'm inviting you to come talk to me. Come DM me on Instagram. Talk to me on Facebook Messenger, whatever. Hit me up and let me know how it is affecting you. Work on it for a good week and let me know how it's going. That's an open invitation to anybody out here. If you finally listen and start doing the deep breathing and start doing the journaling, I'm trying to tell you things will start to change. So you said you're journaling, you're still not doing the deep breathing like you should. And that's the thing people always skip over. We'll journal a little bit better than we'll deep breathe, okay? So we gotta remember that. You gotta remember that you have to be doing your deep breathing and your journaling, okay? You want to combine those two things. Those are two things that are going to change your mindset after this type of trauma has happened to you. That's what we're going for, right? We are going for you being able to say, oh, hey, I think that's Christina over there on Instagram. Hi, that's like my best friend. But okay. Anyway, your journaling and your deep breathing are going to be super, super important to you. You need to be doing both of them. Okay. Let's see. What'd you say? Is that Vashti said? You're doing your journaling as a letter to your ex. Well, not to your ex, to your partner. Hold on, let me see. A letter to your ex. Well, are you not trying to work it out? Y'all not together anymore, or is it like you're you're just in the part where you're trying to heal over it, and then you're going to get back together? Like, what was the letter to the ex for? What is that? What's the goal? There you go. If you're writing a letter, you're journaling in the form of a letter, you need to have a goal for what it is that you want to get from them, because journaling itself is a self activity. That's just for you. So if you're journaling, you need to be journaling just for your own reference, coming back to being able to say, okay, this date, this time, this is where I was having some problems. But hold on, we'll talk about that in just a second. Adara, you said you're driving, you want to watch the replay. Fabulous. That's great. I don't mind at all if you watch the replay. And right now, if you're watching on the replay, drop some hearts, drop some likes. Let me know that you are here on the replay. Hashtag replay. All right. Let's see. You said, Vashi, no, he's not. You're not trying to get back together, because that's where we're at right now. That's what my zone of genius is, to work things out and get back together. So, what do you talk about in your letter to him? What was it that you needed him to know that was important to you? But anyway, I'm getting off track. But doing your journaling, doing your deep breathing, you need to do both. Combine them together. They are very powerful tools if you use them. The deep breathing is going to help with the physical side of this. Okay, you have been through a trauma. That is not just mental, that's not just emotional, it becomes a physical thing too. So you have to work on calming yourself from not only the mental space, but that physical space too. That's what the deep breathing is going to do for you. When you start doing your deep breathing, what you're doing is taking yourself out of the fight or flight response that this has triggered, this anxiety that has triggered, and you are telling your brain, no, I am in control. I know that you don't want me to be hurt. I get that, but I am all right. I am in control of myself. I am in control of my surroundings. I will be okay. And so then when you start to teach your brain that, it starts to believe you, and then it starts to calm down. And that's what we need to be able to get control of our emotions, because the first stage of healing after infidelity is you're just devastated. You're in a puddle on the floor. It's hard to even do anything. The second stage is regulation. It's getting those emotions together and trying to stand yourself back up and realize that this has not destroyed you. This is not your life being over, that you do have more control than you thought you did. Okay. So we need to be working on that, body, mind, spirit, all of those things, putting them together. All right. Vashi said, I want to. He is with other women. Oh goodness, we can get rid of her. It would be anger and the betrayal that I need to let out. I understand that, definitely. Yeah, sometimes you feel like you got to say everything, but if you want to get back together, you might be careful about that. You might not want to keep on going back to how terribly they did you if you are looking to actually reconcile. But all right, let's see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, so doing your deep breathing. That was what we're going to do. We're going to do that together, because we always do that together, don't we? I want us to do the deep breathing 3 times together. Okay, we're going to blow out all the air out of your lungs. Try to deflate your lungs like they're balloons. You're going to inhale through your nose for a count of 4. If you can't breathe through your nose, I understand. You got allergies, problems, or whatever. You can breathe through your mouth, but mostly try to breathe through your nose. In through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a count of 7. We're giving ourselves a chance to use the oxygen that we just breathed in. If you just blow it right back out, you didn't get a chance to use it. Your body didn't get to actually pick up those molecules and put them where they needed to go. And then we're going to blow out for a count of 8. We want to make the noise. Make that noise, and that is a signal to your brain that I am calming down. I am getting control over my emotions. I'm getting control over my body and my breath, and I am okay. So then I can calm down, and so then those alarm bells aren't going off in your head, and terrible thoughts aren't going all through your head continuously while you're doing the deep breathing. So in for 4. Hold it for 7, and then blow out for 8. We're going to do it 3 times, but when you're doing this on your own, I want you to do it 5 times a day. I have a video on YouTube, just 5 times of me doing it with you, so I will count for you. Just use the video and do this 5 times a day, okay? All right, so we're going to do it all together. We're going to blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Tell me how you feel when you do the deep breathing. It should feel better. You should feel like there's a little bit of a cloud that's being lifted in your brain. You can think a little bit better. You can think a little clearer. You can slow down. Your heart rate's not pounding out of your chest. You can maybe hear your own thoughts instead of like that whooshing in your ear where your blood is just flowing in your ears. You can calm your body a little bit. You can feel a little bit better. Even if it just makes you yawn, that's okay too. That's your body saying that I needed that extra oxygen. I needed that. So it's great when you do it, and then keep on doing it. It has to be a thing that you're doing consistently. Jennifer, you say it's working. It's a little choppy, but you're on it. All right. That's what I'm talking about. You got to practice. You got to make this be a habit. Anything that you want to make a habit can be done in about 60 days. If you do something consistently for about 60 days, guess what? You can make it a habit. It's a beautiful thing. So if you will concentrate on just this, even if you don't really focus on any other parts of trying to get better, trying to feel better, trying to reconcile, just doing your deep breathing, just doing your journaling, getting in touch with yourself, being calm, being centered on a regular basis, you're going to start to change things in ways that you don't even understand because you're in such a state right now. Because you are in such a state, you can't see that if you calm down just a little bit, you start to have a lot more power. All right. Let's see. So doing your journaling. Now, again, I always tell you about your journaling. I'm going to tell you one more time. It doesn't matter what you use. I have within hand's reach, I have all sorts of adorable journals. Guiding journals. It's the mindfulness journal. I got that from Five Below. This is one from the Dollar Tree. If you can dream it, you can do it. Isn't that beautiful? I'm using one of these to plan out my weeks now. But I'm just saying, it doesn't matter what kind of journal you use. Just use one, okay? Get one that you don't mind taking with you, you don't mind having, you don't mind opening up and writing in. Something pretty is always helpful, something pleasant for yourself. You always want to have something pleasant around, right? You don't always want to just have like plain old notebooks, although I do indeed have a steno book right here. So anything, it does not matter what you use. Oh, you said sometimes you use notes in your phones for a journal. That's fine too. But there is something different, something kind of cathartic about writing, about taking a pen to paper, because it's very material. And then your brain is like, okay, she committed this to paper. She took a pen and put it to paper, or pencil and put it to paper, and decided that this was important enough to write down. So a lot of times that will make the incessant thoughts stop. It will calm it down a little bit easier than just making the note on your app. But if you can't do it any other way, feel free to use your app on your phone. Some is better than everything. Okay, we got to do instead of worrying about all the techniques of how. You got to start off. So any way you start is great with me. I am happy that you are just journaling and paying attention, because you're paying attention to your feelings. Now, when you are journaling, remember to write your date. You want to write your time. It's very important that you know that, because later on you'll find out that some of the stuff that you're upset about, some of the stuff that triggers you, is related to dates and time. So it's very important to write that, because you will start to see the pattern if you flip back through. All right. Then we need our scale. We need to figure out how anxious we are. How bad is it right now? So zero is no anxiety. We are fine. Everything is right with the world. We are at peace. Okay. And chances are you're not really writing in your journal if you're feeling like that. But hey, if you are feeling like that and you do feel like putting it down in your journal, feel free, because it's a good thing to remember that you did have these. But anyway, Then there's a 10. 10 is like a loss of control. 10, you're probably not journaling eating either, because 10 is like a loss of control. 10 is like, I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. That is a 10. So if you are able to sit down and open up your book and get your pen and be that organized, chances are you're not at a 10. So when you go to write that, don't write down 10. If you're in control of yourself and in control of your pen, you're not quite a 10. Know that even when you think you're a 10, you're not quite a 10. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And it puts a fence around this anxiety. It puts a fence around it to let you know, okay, it can only get so big. It can only get as big as this loss of control. And after that, that's it. That's as far as it can go. I will just have to calm down at that point, because there's nowhere else for me to get to. And anxiety rise. It can't feel any worse than that. So that's a great thing to have in your arsenal, because, and anytime during the day, you can just test yourself and be like, okay, I'm at a 4 or a 5 right about now. All right. So I've been living in an 8 pretty consistently. I'm feeling pretty good about being at a 4 or 5. So it's a good tool to have. So do your date, do your time, do your range of anxiety at the beginning and at the end. When you do the end, put down, okay, I started off at a 6 and now I'm at like a 5. Put that down so that you can understand how far you're actually coming. The point of doing this journaling thing is the fact that your memory is not as good as you think it is when you're on trauma, okay? You think that you remember everything very, very well. You think that you're very clear. There are these very crisp memories that feel just sharp as jagged glass. And I can understand that, but that's only some things. A lot of things get passed over when you're in this traumatic state. You don't think about them. So if you're starting to write things down, your memory is going to be better. You're going to be able to go back to things and be like, you know what? I had a whole consistent week where I was only at about a 4. I was actually doing pretty good. And okay, today I'm at an 8. Today I'm having a bad day. But I have had all these other good days. So that doesn't mean that, all my progress is lost. It just means that I'm having a bad day. And you're able to let it be at that. But you can only do that if you can go back and check in your journal exactly how you were feeling in that week before. All right. Does that make sense? Let me know if I'm talking crazy. You know how I always let you know. Let me know if I'm talking crazy to you, okay? I always want to hear from you. I want to know if you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Or, okay, yeah, all right, that does make sense. I will try and journal, Dasha. I will do that. Let me know. All right, so it is Thirsty Thursday. I am always thrilled to see good news. I love to hear good stuff. And Jennifer was out here. She done started at the gym, y'all. She said, I started going to the gym Monday. I feel freaking amazing and sore. But her breakthroughs, she said, oh, I love that you included the breakthroughs, honey. I am all for that. You said, I can only work on myself. Yes. That is the only person in the whole wide world you can work on is you. Self-care is the most important thing you can do. I promise you will never go wrong doing some self-care. It will never lead you down a bad path. If you are having a moment and you are just like, I don't know what else to do here. I am freaking out. I would love to just choke him right now. Let me go do some self-care. I guarantee you it's going to make you feel better. I guarantee if you just take yourself and put yourself into that care of yourself and caring about yourself, it's going to change your attitude. You're going to feel better. And said, I will be okay no matter how this turns out. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. But don't forget, this is going to turn out how you want it to turn out. You want this to be a good, happy, stable, trusting marriage. And you claim that. Make sure that you're claiming that on a regular basis. This is not going to be a struggle forever and ever. This is not going to be the end. This is not going to be devastation. This is just a bump in the road. And we're going to be good. We're going to have a wonderful, happy, healthy relationship that is lasting, that actually makes us feel like good people together. Okay. So you got to keep that in mind. Make sure you're doing that. But I am all for all forms of self-care. I am for that. please do that. If you have not been doing your self-care, again, you are doing yourself a disservice. These things that you can do for yourself, doing your deep breathing, doing your journaling, doing your self-care, those are things that you can do all for yourself that will start you down the healing path and help you out. You got to do something towards your own rescue. Okay. All right. I'm glad, Jennifer, I'm glad it makes sense. You said, woo, 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 woo. That's what I'm talking about. You were doing the thing. You're out here at your gym feeling good. Whatever your self-care is, it doesn't even matter what it is that you do that is your self-care. Just go for it. Give yourself that. Be excited about doing it and go do it. The attitude of that, the attitude of, I'm going to take care of me. I know I'm having a hard time right now. I am stressing and I'm not going to wait for anybody else to fix this for me. I'm going to go start working on this in my sewing room, at the gym, wherever it is that you go for your self-care and your inner peace. You go start to work on that, and I promise you your mate is going to meet you. I don't think that you have just picked somebody who is just awful and doesn't think anything about your feelings, but it is a lot easier to help you get down the healing path when you've already started down the healing path. He can't pull you onto the healing path. Okay, you got to start down the path yourself, and then you can hold hands and kind of work the rest of the way down the path together. Okay. All right. Any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? You know I love to hear from you all. I'm looking to make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am. The anger of the trail. Okay. All right. Got it all. Beautiful. All right, let's go to questions. I got questions in the group. Excellent questions, y'all. For real. These are good questions. These are good, solid questions we can talk about here. All right, Adara, you're going to catch me on the replay. I'm glad that you're going to catch this because your question is good. You said when you find out there was another affair, and an emotional affair this time. Yes, it was ended, but he didn't come clean when you found out about the first one. Oh, that is something that happens. That happens on a regular basis. Raise your hand. Give me some likes. Give me some love. If you have been through that, you found out the main thing. You're like, okay. And then come to find out there was other stuff going on that you didn't know about that they didn't confess to when you found out about the first thing. That is a very common thing. That is a very typical thing to happen. Okay, because first of all, as human beings, we don't like to get caught and we don't like to be in trouble. And if you already know you're in trouble, a lot of people will not make trouble worse. They will not just say, okay, well, hey, while you're mad, let me go ahead and make you more mad. They're not typically going to do that. Most people don't do that. And I know that women have this very high ideal about, well, if I was caught, I'd just go ahead and confess everything. But if you wasn't trying to get caught in the first place and you did not want to hurt that person like that, then chances are you're not going to share that. So that is a big thing. That is one of those things that happens on a regular basis. So don't think that that's anything out of the ordinary. They were like, you already found out the worst thing according to me. According to them, their worst idea is that they cheated on you. Okay. And then the emotional thing, that was just fun. That was just, playing on the phone, texting with somebody, getting excited a little bit, but not actually meeting up with the person. So they probably thought that that was something little that didn't need to be vocalized. So that's what it is. And, if it's all happening around the same time, it was probably all the same syndrome of them, trying to soothe themselves in some way. So if it was all happening at the same time, kind of lump that in together. All right. It's a lot simpler. It makes things a lot faster to heal if you just go ahead and lump those in together. And nobody tells the complete truth. Every now and again, you get somebody who will tell the complete truth, the honest to God, everything that they did wrong, truth. But not a lot of people do that either. I've been doing this. I've been exclusively doing this for the last almost 3 years now. And yeah, I have not seen any men that are like, oh yeah, here, let me give you some extra confessions that you don't know about. At least not right off the bat. They may later on. They may be like, okay, wait a minute. All right, things are getting better. Let me go ahead and tell you this because I don't want this to keep hanging over me. That does happen sometimes, but a lot of people will not tell everything, every single thing. And they call that the whole trickle truth thing. And I get why that's upsetting, but it is a very natural human reaction to being in trouble, to have done something this devastating to somebody that you care about, and you don't want them to see you that way. You know what I mean? Like you know that this was wrong, so you don't want them to see you like even wronger than you already were. It's painful. It stirs up a lot. And whatever they were doing to cheat, chances are they were already having some pain and dealing with some pain anyway. So it's a little tricky, I know, but kind of group those two things together, Dara, and just go ahead and run with healing and use it as a whole instead of two separate things. All right, does that make sense? All right, let me know. Stacy, you just popped up. I think you just popped up in the group this week, didn't you? You said men who cheat with ex-girlfriends and men who cheat while their wife is pregnant. Woo, boy, oh boy. Okay, I can give you the simpler version of both of those. The guys who cheat with their ex-girlfriends, that is still, I got it. I can still make this person want me. Even though we've broken up, even though I'm with somebody else and they know it, I can still make them want me. And that's more about their relationship than it is about your relationship, if that makes sense. That's about something that happened with the two of them. They are still trying to feel, either recapture feelings that they had before, thinking that this person is the person that had stoked those feelings in them, and that they were mistaken ever like leaving them alone. Usually it's not the case, because those feelings can come from just about anybody. You can kind of fall in love with almost anybody if you work at it. So it's not really that person. And then there is the thing about if they're just mad at that person. They still got issues with that person. They still feel like they have something to prove when that person is concerned. And so it's like, well, haha, I can still sleep with you. I can still, get you to do what I want. Because we're not even together yet still, and you're still willing to do what I want. That, I think that's a lot of where that comes from with the whole ex thing. As far as cheating while the wife is pregnant, that is a very, very typical thing. Again, raise your hand if that has happened to you, because that is a time where we are very focused on ourselves. We are very much focused on ourselves and our body and our feelings and this person that's growing inside of us, and they're not a part of that. And even though to us it's like, oh, we're supposed to be getting closer at this time because I'm growing your child and you should be feeling like you should be with me on this level, they can't be, because they don't feel what we're feeling. They don't feel the hormonal changes. They don't feel the kicks. They don't feel the growth. They don't feel any of the stuff that we feel. Not even the hormones. They just get the ass end of them, because we're taking the hormones out of them. So they're more isolated. And it doesn't seem like that's the case, right? It's like, well, I wasn't trying to make them isolated, but they do tend to be more isolated because we're more focused inward at that time. So a lot of men cheat when their wives are pregnant, because all of her attention is here, so his attention kind of wanders. You're like, oh, you're busy, you're doing something, and their attention kind of wanders. So that's the simplified version of the ex-girlfriends and cheating while they're pregnant. Let me know if you got any questions about that, but that's like the basics of what it is, what I have found over the last 12 years being a relationship coach, and specifically working on infidelity now. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. Jennifer gave me a good question here. Jennifer said, I won't be there, but I will watch the replay. To see you even made it here. Isn't that wonderful? It said, how do you stop ruminating? Oh, yes. Wondering what he's doing every second of the day. Oh, boy. All right. I just need you to know, like, one word for that. It's practice. Okay? The same way that the negative thoughts are very persistently going through your head, okay? The same way that they are consistent. They are very, very clear in their messaging. They want you to think terrible things. You have to be on top of that, like every single negative thought coming up with a positive thought to counteract it. I mean, and it's exhausting for a little while. It is, but it's also exhausting ruminating about it and letting all the terrible thoughts eat you alive from the inside out. It's better to fight. It's better to fight and try and get on the healing path. So, you know, you got to focus on, okay, every bad thought, what's the opposite good thought? Is he cheating on me? No, he is absolutely not cheating on me. He is not only not cheating on me, he is thinking about me right now and missing me and loving me just as much as I am loving him. That is the type of thing that you have to do to stop that consistent negative monologue in your head. Your inner critic, you got to be your inner cheerer. You got to be your inner cheerleader, okay? You have to just jump on that inner critic that is telling you all that horrible stuff, and you got to tell that person every single time they start to speak that it is not true. That is not what I believe is happening right now. No, I do not believe that he is with her right now. I believe that he is thinking about me and he is wondering if he should text me, but he is feeling like that would just be too much and he doesn't want to be that girly. So I will text him and tell him that I love him. And then I will just believe that he is loving me. You know, you gotta be, it's a consistent thing to fight back against a monster that you have created in your own head. Like, you have to decide that that is not what you want. That is not who you want to be. And you're going to fight against those thoughts come hell or high water, so that you don't become that person. You don't become that person who is constantly bitter and angry and sad and constantly insecure. You don't want to be that person. So you got to work on it. You got to picture who in your head you really want to be. And what you want to be is a healed, happy, loving, forgiving, understanding, open, vulnerable woman. That's what you want, right? You got to keep that in mind, picture that in your head, and then everything you do, everything you think, try and line it up with that image of what is going on in your head. Like, you got to line those two things up. Like, okay, who I want to be and what my thoughts are and out of whack right now. So I need to bring those two things into alignment, get them together. So if that requires arguing with yourself, then that's what that requires. And it's fine. It's cool. I spent many a day just sitting here arguing with myself, but it felt better than just believing the horror, like the terrible things that my brain wanted me to believe. It was better to fight that than to just sit there and wallow and let that stuff eat me alive. So, you know, I had to make a choice, and that's what again, it always comes back to the dreams formula. That very beginning of the dreams formula is the D. You got to make a decision. You got a choice to make. Who are you? Who do you want to be? So you got to work for who you really want to be. And that's actually a good part about this, because this is one of those things where, okay, you were devastated, so you were deconstructed. You were broken down to your basics, and now you get to rebuild yourself and be the woman that you always dreamed you were, but you never quite were. Because, you know, when you don't have any bones, when you're laying on the floor boneless and just struggling just to breathe, you're not who you were anymore. So that person gets cleared away. Okay, and you might have liked that person some, but there had to be some things that you wanted to be different about yourself. So if that was the case, this is the time to work on it. This is the time to build that person that you always wanted to be. Okay. So, you know, while you're, you know, trying to reconstruct yourself, be thinking about who you want to be and trying to work towards that. All right. Let's see. All right. Got comments. He said, is it down to Stacy? Stacy said his mistress told me, which hurt even more. Oh yeah, honey, they're not gonna tell if they don't have to. But that shows you the fact that his mistress told you is a sign that he was not living up to whatever little fantasy that she had going, that they had going on together. Okay, she was like, you are not trying to really be with me. And so if I tell your wife and ruin that marriage and blow that all to hell, then you'll just come crawling back to me. That is what the thought was on that. So she did that just to hurt both of you. So if that was the case, if she was trying to hurt him, that means he had already hurt her. So chances are you were hurt, yes, but she was actually trying to hurt him. She was trying to blow up his marriage because he was not coming through on the promises. Oh, I'm going to leave my wife and I'm going to be with you and we're going to be together forever and this is just real love. And oh God, yeah. All of that crazy stuff that he talked to her just to keep her sleeping with him. Yeah, that stuff she didn't believe. she believed and now she knows she can't believe. Said initially, yes, and hugs to you too. She said, initially, when my situation came to light, he said he was in lust and infatuation. Yeah, most of the time, that's what it is. But he claims to love me and want to work it out. How do you work anything out with someone who told you they lusted after someone else? And how do you lust after someone you already had? Okay, first of all right, it's lust. Lust is a feeling, all right? I have lust. Okay, I have lust for Method Man right now. My husband knows right this second there is some lust there. I would love for that to go down, but alas, it cannot. So you can feel lust for someone and love someone desperately. I love my husband desperately. Even though I lust after Method Man, I am not going to leave my husband to go have sex with him. I'm not going to do that. So there is a difference there, all right? So you can love somebody very, very deeply and still have other feelings. Your feelings don't go away just because you love one person, okay? You said, and someone they already had. Again, it's the whole I can have you again. I can. That makes him feel more of a man, like, oh, I can. She knows that I'm with somebody else and she'll still come and do what I want her to do. And that's a big ego boost. That's a big ego thing for them. So that had nothing to do with loving you. That just filled up a hole that was inside of him. That didn't have anything to do with, he could have loved you with all his whole heart, but he still had that hole somewhere in him that he needed to try and fill. He said, Peggy says, what about when it was the other way around? Seeing that crazy? It goes both ways, right? When it was the other way around, he was in love with her, but she barely gave him the time of day except for when she needed him for something. Okay, let me explain the in love thing. Let's talk about that because that's always a good one. All right, let me just tell you that in love is not a feeling that you can only feel with your mate. All right, that is not true. I know people will try and tell you that you can never feel in love with somebody else. You absolutely can't. And the reason for that is that it is not really emotional and it's not really about your decision making. That is a biochemical thing. That is a hormone thing that comes up, okay? That is why they feel like that. They feel like they're in love because the right amount of dopamine and serotonin and all the other chemicals and oxytocin was mixed around in their brain and gave them the in love feeling, okay? That's what it is for all of us. When everybody in the whole wide world, when we say we're in love, that's that feeling like, I can't eat because I'm thinking about you so much. I can't sleep without you. I have to be near you. I want to call you. I want to talk to you. I want to touch you every minute. It's sort of obsession, right? That's not really what love really is. It's more of an infatuation. It's more of a lust, a wanting, instead of making up your mind that you need this person. Okay. So when we fall in love, it is just our hormones. And it lasts about 7 to 9 months. So if they were into this whole thing with them and it started to fizzle out right around 9 months, that's the reason why. Because it was never anything real. It was all just their hormones clicked together the right way. And they thought that they were just meant to be and that they were mystically brought together to be the prince and the princess of the story. Which is not what it was. Okay, that's not what it was. It was just their hormones. All right. So that's exactly how everybody else starts off falling in love. That's what we all do. But it is not permanent. It is a temporary state that only lasts about 7 to 9 months, and then it wears off. When you make decisions after that, you are saying, I choose this person. I want to be with this person. I love this person. That's why a lot of these affairs and stuff only fizzle out, at about the year mark. When they last longer than that, chances are it's because their significant other, you, found out and made it seem like it was such an important thing because of how you're reacting. You're saying that you are just devastating. This was awful. You just want to be with her. You love her so much more than me. And you make that real in their head. They're like, if you are taking it so seriously, maybe I should take it more seriously. I was just having fun and my hormones were going and I was feeling good. And, I was chasing that dragon, that feeling of in love. But since you think it's so important, since you think that it is something so devastating, then maybe this was real. Maybe it really was that we are just destined to be together and we are just two hearts that found one another in sad circumstances. And it's not even that. It's not. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Again, your brain playing tricks on you the same way it does when you're traumatized. Your brain will jump up and try and make you feel like you're in love with somebody else. Okay. All right. But it lasted for 8 years on and off. Yeah. Cause she was always withdrawing it and then dangling it again for him and withdrawing it. So she made the hormonal thing last longer. He was like, oh, she's so interested in me. And then they separate out. And then, she give him a little time to not be high anymore. That's what happened. She gave him a little time to withdraw from her. Most people don't do that. She's a good manipulator. She is a really good manipulator because she knew that if I pull away, and then I dangle it in front of him again, and then I pull away again and dangle myself in front of him again, he'll be on the hook forever. And that's exactly what was going on until you found out she was dangling and getting what she wanted out of him and making him feel all funny. And then, you found out and it kind of broke the spell a little bit. But that's exactly what happened. She was just manipulating him very, very well. She was manipulating the hell out of him. So a lot of the relationships with the cheater and the person they're cheating with, it comes down to manipulation. There's a lot of manipulation going down around there. The person who is cheating, if your mate is cheating and they're just doing it because they want to feel good about themselves or they want to boost their testosterone and have their hormones running again, that is using somebody else to feel good. It's like a drug. Okay. You are using somebody to make yourself feel good. So, there's a lot of manipulation involved in that. He said, exactly. I think he finally realized it, and I'm sure he won't do it again. See, as sure as you can be, because we're all people and we all fuck up entirely terribly on a regular basis. So that is possible. But you should believe in him. You should believe because he's probably feeling kind of stupid right about now for that whole thing. And he's probably realizing, oh, this woman never really wanted to be with me. She was just using me. That has probably dawned on him at this point. So he probably won't be running around here doing crazy stuff anymore. He'll probably figure it out and be like, oh, I really shouldn't have done that. I really shouldn't have hurt her like that in order to be with this manipulative heifer over here who just wanted to make me spend money on her and keep my feelings jarred up so that she could keep on manipulating me. So hopefully he's got that now. Hopefully he recognizes. But, when the in love thing, that can happen, and it's very funny. It's like, there is I think it's like a 30 question game that you can play. You can play and you ask each other like personal questions. I forget what this is called. I'll look it up and tell you. But it's like you ask each other like 30 like personal questions back and forth, and you look into each other's eyes a lot. And you like end the session with looking into each other's eyes for like a minute or something. And it makes people feel like they've fallen in love with that person. Falling in love is one of those things where if you press the right button a couple of times, you can feel it. And so that is why I know you can feel in love with your honey again too. Even after all this has happened, you can feel in love with him again by pressing the right buttons. The buttons that you pressed when you felt like that the last time. The last time you felt all in love and all giddy and all like a schoolgirl with a crush. Like the last time you felt like that about them, do the things that you did when you felt like that, and you'll feel like that again. It's just a matter of pressing the right buttons. Okay. So in love, let's stop worrying about that. Let's stop making that be like the be all and end all of feelings for someone, because in love is fake. In love is just your hormones trying to link you up with somebody long enough for the two of you to get pregnant and possibly have a baby together. Okay. That's like nature's way of just making you link up together that long. It's not a real thing. It doesn't mean that you are destined to be together. It doesn't mean that you just love each other so deeply and you just will have to be with each other forever and ever. That's not what that means. It is just a hormonal thing that our bodies and our brains do to us. The same way trauma is a thing that our brain does to us that just makes you feel a way that is not really real. It's not really based in reality. You said, Peggy said, sorry, let me get the water. Goodness. Okay. And so, he has a major seizure disorder. Yeah. And confessed the last time that he was in the hospital. So now I sometimes wonder if he wants me because he knows she would never take care of him like that. Like I will. Or because he loves me and realized that, or a combination of both. It's probably a combination of both. He probably realizes, that is a seriously loving thing, though. Don't discount that as a good reason to love you. Okay, the fact that you would love him and you would still take care of him and you would still be his partner, even though he fucked up so royally, like, that is not a bad thing. That is not saying that you're like a doormat or anything. That's just saying that you love the person that you love, and you're willing to show that you love the person that you love through sickness and health. When it really comes down to it, you're the real deal. That's all that means. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing that he would consider that in his calculations about going forward and wanting to be with you. You're the best person for him. Yeah, of course he would figure that out. Duh, because you are. Okay, so when they figure that out, that's not a bad thing. That we're not gonna stress about them figuring out that you're the right person, you're the good person, you're the person with the high score. We don't want to mess that up for them, okay? We want to run with that, encourage that, and still be that person so that he understands, yeah, okay, I am making the right decision. This is the right person for me. Yeah, she's upset. Yeah, she's hurt. But, she's trying to heal. She is trying not to take it out on me on a regular basis, and she's still taking care of me. That's the right girl. She is shown. She is an awesome woman, and she is the awesome woman for me. And I'm going to stick this out and try and fix this and make sure that she knows it. And that's a good thing. I don't see anything wrong with that. So, of course, he loves you. Of course he does. But then he also knows from your actions that you love him. So that is just as important as him loving you. He knows from your actions that you love him, and that's a wonderful thing. That is okay. He gets it. We need him to get it. We're good now that he's got it. Now that he's getting it, now he's understanding some things. Now you can make some progress. Okay, so just hold tight to that and be okay with the fact that it is just a combination of things that are so wonderful about you that make him think that, damn, I need to make sure that I keep this one in my life. You know what I mean? And I'm with him. I think you're wonderful too. So I think he's making a good decision. I think you're making a good decision. All right. And that's always my thing. I want you to know that I'm with you on your decisions. There's a lot of self-doubt and, messed up confidence and, just self-esteem issues that'll make you feel like you're making a terrible mistake. And I get that because I felt like that, but I also knew that I wasn't making a mistake. There was a reason that I was choosing who I was choosing. And I have proven myself right by getting on the healing path, getting myself together, decreasing that pain, regulating my emotions, and getting back to the love. I proved that I was right. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Any other questions? I don't see any other ones. Oh, let me remind you, come join me for the Confidence Confidential Challenge. Have you signed up for the challenge yet, Peggy? I know you have. I know for sure. I'm not sure. I got. Oh, sorry. Gotta check my list and find out who else. About to choke to death. All right. But sign up. Go to Instagram. Go to my bio. It's in there. If you're in my Facebook group, it's in there. So go sign up. Pitiful. I'm sorry. Oh, alrighty. I've been talking so much, my throat is itching. Okay. It was so dry. All right. Anyway, any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Anybody over here on IG? Anybody else want to come talk to me? Come on, give me some information here. Let me know. Okay, hey, I can post it. Hold on one second. I will post that link. Not sure how I do it on. I don't know if I can do a link on Instagram in the comments. I'll find out though. Let's find out. Sorry, trying to go to the link. I closed the page. But yeah, I definitely want you to come and join me for the Confidence Confidential Challenge. We're going to be talking about, why your confidence is taking such a hit with dealing with the infidelity, and then how you can start to get it back. The how is great. How this happened is wonderful, but we definitely need to have some kind of acknowledgement about how to fix it. All right, I posted that, and okay, hopefully you can see that in my comments. I think it posted there. Let me see. That's some new stuff. I hadn't tried that yet. All right, well, I can't see it in my comments, so I posted it in my comments too. On my Facebook page, there we go. It's there too. So go on over there, hit me up. It's just your name and your email so I can catch up and have everybody in one place for the challenge, because in the challenge, we are going to be giving out prizes, okay? And let me tell you, I have thought of a really good prize that I'm not going to tell you until the first day of the challenge. So, because I want you to go ahead and sign up without knowing what the prize is going to be like. It's a really good prize. So I want you to go over there and sign up. And then the first day of the challenge, you're going to find out what really, really good prize I have for you. Now we're going to have good prizes like I do Amazon gift cards, my book, The Wifey Handbook, my first book, my second book is forthcoming about this infidelity thing. I'm working on it. Journals. You can pick from one of my lovely journals on my desk over here. I picked up all of these journals just for prizes. I was like, oh, look, it's a pretty one. So all of these are going to be prizes. I give out pens. I give out all sorts of stuff. So I want you to come join, but I will tell you that the grand prize is very grand indeed. So I'm excited. This is the first time I've given out this type of prize before. So I think you will want to come and try to get in on the fun and get in on the prizes. All right. And get your confidence back, right? Because you deserve to have your confidence back after this. I know this was a very stressful thing. I know this makes you feel like you are just in pieces and that you can't fix yourself and you can't figure out exactly where to go. But I'm here for you for that. I am here for you to rebuild your confidence, to make you feel like, okay, I can really do this. And that's why I made the whole dreams formula, so that this is something that you can do on your own every day. Okay, the dreams formula, one more time for those who don't know, D is for deciding that this is the person that's worth your time and your effort. Now, I don't care what goes into that decision-making process. It doesn't matter to me. If this is the person for you and you are willing to do the work for being with that person because you care about that person, for whatever reason that you care about them and want them to be that person, whatever. I don't care. I agree with your decision. All right. R is for recognizing and overcoming the fear speech, the stuff that goes on inside your head, all of those thoughts, all those terrible things that I told you will be helped by doing your journaling, your deep breathing. Those terrible thoughts on the inside and all those terrible thoughts that you get from the outside, right? All the groups that you're in, all the people that you talk to, the friends, the family, they all would tell you that you're being a doormat and you shouldn't do this and you should just leave. You should just run away from this relationship. That's all fear speech. So you got to figure out what that is and be able to overcome it. E is for evaluating the why, figuring out why they did this, what happened, what was going on inside their brain that caused this to be a thing in your relationship. A is for allowing the healing to happen, not hanging on to that past anymore, letting it go a finger at a time if you have to. If you got to pry your fingers off of it, that's what you got to do to allow yourself to be in the present moment, to enjoy the relationship as it is right now and not continuously be stuck in the past in something that has already happened that you can't undo. M is going to be for managing the future feelings. That has to do with the triggers, right? It's very easy to get triggered after something this devastating and this traumatizing happens to you. So you've got to know what the triggers are, and then you have to be able to come up with a plan to be able to calm yourself of those triggers no matter what happens. They'll pop up and you'll be able to do something about them. And the S. The S is for support. You need somebody, at least one person, if not a whole core group, to tell you that this is okay. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I have a group. That's why I have a group, the Recovery and Reconciliation membership. I have a group where that is what we're doing. That is the only thing we're focused on. We're going to get through this. You have other people in the group with you who are definitely not ever telling you, no, you shouldn't try and work it out. You definitely are right to be able to work it out with the person that you want to work it out with. Incredible support in my group. So, if you are interested, you should definitely jump in on that too, because they are fabulous women and we meet up every single solitary week. So you will have some consistency in how you get better. And that is one of the things that you're going to definitely need, because you need that support. You need somebody telling you the good stuff instead of just telling you negative stuff all the time. I am not going to be the person to tell you, oh, you should just walk away. You should just leave. When you tell me that that's what you're going to do, then I'll be like, okay, all right, I understand. I see that that's what you're feeling and that's what you're wanting. But up until that point, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to try my very best to make you see things from a different perspective, to change the way you're looking at things, to change the way you're doing things in order to get yourself going down the healing path. And then once you're on the path, a lot of the time things get simpler. It's not as hard once you actually make the decision and start traveling down the path. But it's difficult if you don't have anybody to tell you, okay, this is not a good idea. Like, it is not a good idea to keep on talking about it every single solitary day. You're throwing it in his face every day. He is not going to want to hear that. You are going through his phone every single night. You're sitting in front of him, showing him, I do not trust you. I am looking for terrible things you have done inside your phone. If you want to heal, you can't do all that stuff. And so I'm going to remind you about not doing the things that your brain, that terrified portion of your mind is telling you to do. If you want love, you cannot do things that are based in fear. It does not work that way. If you want love, you have to do things that are based in love. You cannot go about being fearful and doing fearful things to your mate and around your mate and think that you're going to get back to the love. It doesn't work that way. That's why so many people get stuck. And I don't want you to be stuck anymore. I think that you deserve to get out of pain. And I think that your mate deserves to get out of pain too. And I think that the two of you need to be able to come together and have a happy, trusting, healthy relationship again. And all you need to do that is practice a little bit. Go through the James formula. I'm trying to tell you, go do it over and over and over again. I made it. I designed it that way. So even if you don't come and join my group, you're in my Facebook group, you're on my Instagram, you are hearing about it on a regular basis. You have that support, and you can go through the other letters and work on those things, and you will improve. That's what will happen. These are the things that I found every day that I struggled with. If I forgot about the D, if I forgot about the decision, then that made everything else a little bit harder. So I had to pick that ball back up, start juggling everything again. Okay, the D. Okay, sometimes the fear speech would get into my head, and I'd start telling myself awful things. Let me tell you. Speaking of which, that happened today. I was sitting here talking to my husband, and we got 2 apple pies. It's like 2 for $1 from Rallies. There's no Rallies anywhere near where I live, which is devastating to us because we love it. All right, so we went where there was a Rallies and picked up our kids, and so I was ordering apple pies, and he was like, "I want extras," and I was like, "Of course you want extras. I'm going to have 2 for myself." Okay, I ordered 4, and then he was like, "Okay, get 2 more." I said, "Are you sure? That's all you want? That's all you want?" And he was like, "Yeah." So then he gives the extra 2 to our kids. And I was like, "Oh, I thought you were keeping that for yourself." And he was like, "No." So I get home, he eats his 2 last night, and I had my 1 this afternoon. And I was like, I was waiting, I'm going to eat my other pie later on. And he strolls in the room with my pie in his hand. And I'm just like, I'm hurt. I'm like, "How are you going to eat my pie? You didn't even ask me." And he was like, "Well, I said that I wanted more." And so, it all said and done, he was like, "Okay, I'll put your pie back." So when he got back in the room, he was quiet. And I was like, "Oh, is he mad about this pie? Is he upset with me that I said I wanted my pie?" And then I'm starting to get a little defensive. Well, why is he getting mad at me because I want my own damn pie? I ordered the pies that I wanted. He should order more if he wanted it. And then I realized I was sitting there, I was fearful that he was angry at me, but I didn't know that that was the case. And so then I started talking to him, and he started talking to me normally. He was just in his own little world when he came back into the room. But when I started talking to him, he started talking to me normally. So I was already assuming that he was mad. I was already like, "Oh, he's mad. He's mad at me. But why is he mad at me? He shouldn't be mad at me." And then I'm starting to get mad. And then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. This is what I tell them to look out for." It's that fear speech. That fear speech got me. It almost got me today. I'm trying to tell you, it almost got me because I was starting to get attitude. And then I was like, "Oh, wait. Oh, he's not mad." I'm just tripping. He's not mad at all. And why would he be mad over my stuff? Which makes sense, but at the time I was feeling kind of sensitive, and I just thought that he was mad at me, and I was starting to get upset because he was upset. And I tell you all the time, don't get upset just because he's upset. Okay, he's entitled to a bad mood just as much as you're entitled to a bad mood, and it doesn't mean that you have to take a bad mood just because he's in a bad mood. All right. But anyway, that's my story for the day about the apple pies. I think that's all I got for today. Anybody got any other questions? I see a thank you. You're very welcome. Anything good? I'm over an hour now, so I guess that's about it. Oh, I always have so much that I could tell you, but that's all right. We're going to come back again and do this again next week. And of course, I am going to do my Sunday video on YouTube. So don't forget, go over to YouTube and subscribe. And I do a video over there too. I do the word of the week. So go on over there and see me. Said Jennifer said you don't do Instagram. Well, that's all right. That's all right. I'm everywhere right about now. I'm trying to expand my reach. I'm trying to be out here and really help because obviously people need support in this. Obviously, it is a very common, very, very stressful, traumatic event that happens on a regular basis to people. And I want to do as much as I possibly can to help that. So I'm everywhere right now. I'm trying to do it all. And come join me for the Confidence Confidential Challenge. If your self-esteem has been suffering, we're going to boost it up a little bit. We're going to feel good. Okay. So we're going to be doing that. That is in exactly how many days? That is not next Monday, but the week Monday after that, Monday, September 13th is when we get started with that. And I'm going to be with you every morning, like 9:30 in the morning, every morning. Yeah, 9:30. Had to remember 9:30 in the morning, every morning that week. Friday, we'll do the prize drawing. All throughout the rest of the week, we're just going to be talking about how we can feel good about ourselves, how we can do good things for ourselves, take care of our self-care, get that confidence boosted. Okay. All right. right. That's it. I'm the bomb. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I want to help. I see that this is a problem. I was doing relationship coaching for so long, and it just always came back to this. There were so many couples that were still together, definitely still together, but they were suffering because their mate had cheated, and so then everybody is mad at each other, and it just lasted for years and years. And I'm like, okay, there is no need for this to last years and years. You can heal from this in a whole lot less time than that, but you got to practice. So that's what I'm here to do, is tell you to practice. All right. All right, I'm going to stop running my mouth. That's about all I got for you today. So remember, come back next week. We will be here Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Healing Hour Live. In the meantime, I want you to make healing choices. Stay on the healing path. Do not do what the fear tells you to do. And practice. Practice all your skills. Practice your deep breathing. Practice your journaling. And again, open invitation. If you start doing your deep breathing, you start doing your journaling, and you start working on those two things together and things start changing, hit me up personally. I want to hear from you. Message me on Facebook, DM me on Instagram. I don't care how you get in contact with me. Hit me up, because I want to hear good things about doing your deep breathing and doing your journaling. Just those two things alone are going to start to help you, okay? Make a new habit. All right, y'all. That's about it. I will check you out again next week for the Healing Hour Live. This has been Love Coach Dasha, and I'm sending you so much love for the relationship of your dreams. I'll talk to you later. Bye.